Today, we're gonna review and go over Luma 3's new spray guns, their color coat spray gun and their clear coat spray gun, as well as taking a look at their Sun Pro light, a new light new to this industry. We're gonna see how well it works on a very large metallic paint job here on Paint Society. Now the paint job that we're going to be spraying today is a new color to our system, NH885M, liquid carbon metallic, and we replaced both doors and we've cut them in already on the insides. And now on a job like this, of this size, I definitely am going to paint everything on the car because I want to see exactly what is going on. This was also a replace fender, and I went ahead and I clear coated it before I put it on the vehicle because I wanted to check my color and see if I still had to blend into the hood, and believe it or not, it's just a little bit too dark, so I modified the color just a little bit and I've got a much better color match, and I'm going to spray down this whole side. Let's take a look at the equipment that we're going to be using for this video. And here they are, guys. These are the new spray guns from Luma 3. They are the Exodus. They come with two different styles you can get, which is the clear coat gun and the color coat gun. Now the differences you'll find is that the fluid tip and the air caps will vary just a little bit. And of course the cool thing is these guns are ready to go with the Sun Pro light, and that's exactly really what I love about it. This is the new light, and we'll talk about a little bit more about the details about the light and, well, why you would need a light on your paint gun. It might not be for everyone, but we're going to talk about the benefits of it in the spray booth. So when you pick it up, you can see that it is, well, I can feel it is very, very light. A little bit on the smaller side, but very nimble and very easy to use. And a cool thing about it also is the way that the finish is designed on the spray gun, so it looks like it's very easy to clean. Now these guns have an OP air cap that's optimized pressure, and basically what that does is it exceeds the industry standards of the high transfer efficiency and the RP pressure technologies that are out on the market right now. So really interested to see, well, if all that talk really adds up to a nice spray gun. But what I really like about it is basically how well it's built. You know, it's built pretty well for a little gun. We have their fan at the top and of course the fluid right here, and they're ready to go for the adjustment, which we'll set up here in just a moment. So let's look at real quick the clear coat gun and see if there's any major differences that we notice between this and the color coat gun. So this has some pretty cool packaging, something you won't find on any regular gun now on the market, and a nice carrying case to boot as well. Now, when it comes to the actual gun itself, they're very, very similar. Now this one's going to come with the 1.5 fluid tip, and I gotta say that is a lot bigger than we're used to, but they're claiming that it's gonna just be fine when it comes to spraying clear coat. I'm not gonna have runs all over the place, and that the technology with the 1.5 is gonna spray just like a 1.3. So that is to be determined if that is actually true or not, but you can see the air cap here is a little bit different in color and a little bit different design as well. So really, really cool looking guns, but, well, does coolness really get you far when it comes to spraying a metallic paint job? So let's first go ahead and take a look at the light and see how we can light up our paint jobs. And basically this is the Sun Pro light. Now you might remember the Luma 3. These guys were the first in the industry to put a light on a spray gun, and not a lot of people were a big fan of it because, well, you have basically a lot of haters that really will not be willing to give things a try before they actually dive into it. They always want to say, hey, that stinks, you don't need it. And sometimes you might not need it, but majority guys at home are spraying in a dark environment, or those guys in your spray booth that really don't know how the benefits of a light will help you. We're going to find that out today. This is the Sun Pro, and there's been a lot of revisions to this actual light. And when it comes to spraying, we're going to go ahead and talk about those revisions. But again, this is the light that you can use on any of your actual spray guns, and the adapter is what will be different for different spray guns. So basically they make this adapter for many different popular spray guns. So if you don't want to get this gun, that's fine. You can still go ahead and get the light. Now it comes with this cool charging case. Now when it comes to the light, it claims up to 12 hours of runtime before you have to charge it, and it comes in 3 different lighting modes, from very bright to middle grade to a little bit lighter. So before on the older light, you only had that one full brightness and it might have been too bright for you. So if you're looking for something just a little bit lighter, you can kind of switch through the different modes and find the one that works best for you. Now it's super simple to attach the light to the actual gun itself. Basically it just slides right on like so, and that is it. And it doesn't really add a whole lot of weight to the actual gun, and it still feels pretty balanced as well. And right here with your thumb, it's a nice quick reach, so if you want to change the light pattern, you can do that very easily. Before you had a knob, you had to pretty much use your other hand to turn it on or off. So basically it's a big improvement from where we used to be. Now when you want to take it off your gun, it's very easy. You just use your thumb right here, and there's a little bit of a tab, and you can go ahead and pop it right off. It's good to go. And from there, if you need to charge it again, you'll just pop it right onto the charger and you're good to go. On the back side, it has that port that you can use for the charging located right here. And simply just plug it right in and you're good to go. You can charge it right up. And now that we've looked at which gun we're going to be using, we really want to talk about the meat of the video, and that is getting a nice blend that's nice and smooth and no streaks. And a lot of you guys are sending me messages on the Paint Society Instagram saying, I keep getting dry spray around my blends. My blends are ugly, or my metallics are ugly. I get you. I understand you. You need to pay attention to what I'm doing in this video because I'm going to help you figure it out, okay? So first and foremost, one thing I do to help prevent that is by getting all of my sealer work done before the car hits the booth. And what do I mean by that? Well, basically, these are two brand new doors and a brand new fender. They've all been sealed and base coated, with the exception of the fender's been clear coated. What does that do for me? Well, that takes out the extra step in the booth of having to seal in the booth and getting that dry spray. I want to show you these doors. And just the fact alone that we've already sealed, we base coated, and we've smoothed out the door, now we're going to get ourselves a much nicer, smoother blend. We can see in some areas where there might have been a little bit of a sealer booger or a dirt nib that's been sanded smooth. And now by sanding with 1000 over all of our blends and our panel, we're going to have a nice, smooth transition for our base coat to lie on. Because if we were to seal into the quarter panel, which you could still do, remember, you're going to add an extra step of dust and dirt, and it's hard to cover that up. So what I recommend to you, if you can, is remember, seal outside of the booth. Here we have a rare case of just a pure blend. There's no rock chips, there's no nothing, so we'll be able to just take color to that beginning portion of the hood, and then our A-pillar down, we'll take color all in this area, we'll coat the whole entire fender, we'll go down the side of the vehicle, and then we'll blend it into this area. And we're going to be using one of the most important solvents that you need to use, which is extra slow reducer. If you're not using it, I'm going to get upset with you, because you need to use it, because if you don't, your edges are going to be dry. You cannot depend on a normal reducer or a fast reducer to lay down smooth in this area. It's just going to lay dry. So you need to use the slowest temperature reducer if you're spraying above 80 degrees. And that's this, guys. I've talked about this in almost every one of my videos. You guys have an option, okay? If it's cooler outside, I would say 75 degrees or cooler, you can use slow, but anywhere between 75 and 80 and above, you need to be using that extra slow reducer. This is going to keep the paint open. It's going to make it smoother. You guys are thinking, oh, it's going to take longer to dry. It's not. It's going to dry smoother and nicer. Something that's faster might dry quicker, but you guys are going to be having to go over and over and over it again and cause sand piling. Find something that says extra slow or hottest temperature reducer available. That is what you need. So let's go ahead, let's load our gun up, and let's start spraying some base coat and see how those spray guns work. And we have our paint all mixed up. Now for our spray gun, we're using the PPS S15 adapter, and also it comes with the regulator, our Luma 3 regulator. Now we put our coupler on here. Now that might not look like much of anything, until we get the coupler that you're probably using. You see the difference in the sizes right here? This right here is an HVLP. This is your standard, you know, regular air tool coupler, and you can see the difference in the size. Like this one will pretty much almost go over it. So you want an HVLP style coupler, and I'll put these in the description for you guys. If you're not using these, you're not going to get the right amount of airflow that you need for spraying any of these paint jobs when it comes to silver metallic or clear coat. Get yourself HVLP fittings just like this. You need them. This is the obviously a female setting, but they have the male as well if you need that. Let's go ahead into the booth. Let's lay down the first coat of base. And after that first coat, with that light, one thing I did notice, guys, is that my color is just a little bit light. I can see it within here, and I can see it within the hood. Although it might look good on camera, it's just a little bit light. And I noticed that after I was spraying, and also while I was spraying, I noticed that I think it needs a little bit of black. So pretty cool that I was able to figure that out on the go, and I'm gonna add a little bit of my black toner to the mix. So painters in the field, this is the toner that was in the mix. This is 140, and I'm basically just gonna add a little bit of it. I'm not gonna really measure it out, just a little bit, enough just to darken the color just a touch, and then I always pop in a little reducer after that, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get it all mixed up. And this will really help me out to get it to the point where I want it to. So let's go ahead and apply that second coat now. Now here on my third coat, I'm going to put a little bit of blender so I can make sure that everything's nice and smooth. We're using a different gun for this. You don't want to use the same gun. And that's all you need, just a little bit of blender there and in a quarter, and right away while it's still wet, let's knock down that third coat. Let's put a little bit of distance between our panel and the spray gun, and let's smooth it out, and we're gonna leave it. Now, after my inspection, this looks great. Now, if you're struggling, right, and you can't get it to lay out smooth, you don't have to walk the panel. Sometimes what you can do is you can just do panel by panel, slow it down, and just watch the paint go on and maybe increase the amount of overlap you have, all right? So sometimes we see those stripes because we're, you know, having too big of an amount of an overlap. Let's say we're only overlapping 50%, and there's gaps in between our overlap. If we kind of tighten it up a little bit, right, and increase that overlap to maybe 85 to 90%, that's a lot, you know, it's on the high end, but you get what I'm saying. That's gonna help it, especially for these metallics, just to really, really smooth out much better. We can see here, this thing is drying really nice. Our blend here looks really, really good. The color match looks pretty good. Everything's blending. We don't want to blend a color that doesn't match, or otherwise we'll see it, all right? We want to try to put the correct color on the car. Over in this area on the hood, our blend looks pretty nice as well. So let's give that 1.5 Exodus clear coat gun a try. We'll show you the first coat and see how it comes out, and let's get to it. And we're ready to go. This time we're using that clear coat spray gun. We got that 1.5, and remember, it says it's gonna spray like a 1.3 with the high transfer efficiency rate, that optimized pressure, OP, where it's written on the cap right there. So I'm really interested to see. Now, I'm gonna dial down my light just a little bit because I don't need it for color correctness, but I do wanna see my wet edge, and this light's gonna show me that wet edge and where I paint it and where I haven't. So let's knock down that first coat of clear right now. We're gonna run it in and around 28 PSI. We're gonna bump it up from base coat, see what it does. Guys, that's gonna wrap things up for this episode. You can see it came out pretty good. Still not completely done, waiting on a couple parts, but for the Luma 3 spray guns, I gotta say they worked out really well. And Luma 3's been really trying to keep that in an affordable price range. And well, an affordable price range for a solid built gun is gonna be anywhere under $500. Of course, you can spend that $700 or $800, but if you're a hobbyist, I don't really want you to spend that amount of money. I don't really think it's necessary. So go ahead and check it out. If it's something you like, obviously we can get good results from here, then you can go ahead and give it a try. Or if you're looking for a cheaper spray gun, we have different options as well. But if you're serious about painting and you want a good build quality, definitely gets the job done. As far as the light is concerned, you don't necessarily have to get the light, but I will tell you, when it came to color correcting this actual vehicle on the spot, I was able to tell that, hey, Brian, it needs to be a little bit blacker. So remember when we put that 140 in, that black toner, and then darkened it up just a little bit. So it's just those little things that might help you out along the way that make the big difference when the job is actually done, and I'm really happy with it. So guys, this is Brian from Paint Society reminding you, don't overthink it, say it with me, it's just paint. I'll see you guys on the next episode.